Well, in yesterday's podcast, I did say I wonder what drama we're gonna get today, Tuesday, and we certainly have got some drama today, and not just in the World Cup. So I'm just gonna start with the news that broke a little bit earlier this evening. That first of all, Ronaldo has left Man United, and apparently that is by mutual consent. Whether you believe that or not, that's what it is. And then a little later, the news broke that the Glazers are thinking of selling Man United. And I'm not sure within the last half an hour or so whether that has been confirmed, whether they 100% are going to be selling Man United or looking to sell them. So yeah, two massive pieces of news. I think especially the Glazers one is probably bigger, because we probably thought that the Ronaldo one was going to happen anyway. But that is a podcast that we'll do tomorrow. Probably going to do two podcasts tomorrow. One separate one for Ronaldo and Man United, and another one for the World Cup. So yeah, some big breaking news this evening. And if that wasn't big enough, we started the day with some big news. Well, big shock. So Argentina, who I think are second favourites to win the whole thing, well, win the World Cup, lost to Saudi Arabia 2-1 in one of the biggest shocks in World Cup history. So I'm not sure if anybody was expecting that. I don't think anybody was. I certainly wasn't expecting that. And that has, as they say, put the cat amongst the pigeons, because now there could be doubts of Argentina even qualifying for the group. Just talking about that match a little bit, they got an early goal, did Argentina, from a penalty, which is a bit dubious in itself. It's a bit soft, I think. If you saw the Harry Maguire when he got fouled in the England match, that was a lot worse. So it's that consistency thing again. But yeah, Messi converted the penalty, so he becomes, I think, the first Argentina player to score in 4 World Cups. So that's good, and I think it was his 92nd international goal. So yeah, from there you thought Argentina gonna win comfortably, really. But I have to say, Saudi Arabia, you have to give them all the credit as well. They played a really high line, and for me, we're just there to be punished when somebody plays that high. Argentina did have 3 disallowed goals for offsides and all correct decisions. There's one on social media that has come out with, I think it was a Lautaro Martinez when he went around the keeper, and there's a picture that says the VAR didn't check the player nearest the camera or something, but I can't verify how legit that picture is. But anyway, all that space behind the defense, and Argentina, I think, big waste, especially in the first half. And then Saudi Arabia, like I said, I have to give them a lot of credit. The way they played, the way they pressed Argentina as well, the energy, and Argentina just looked leggy. They looked like they didn't have the physical ability to deal with Saudi Arabia. And I'm not, maybe a couple of things in terms of Argentina were going for the record as well of 37 games unbeaten, which is still held by Italy now. So sometimes when you do have the record on the line, it can play with you. So that record's gone now, and that would have been a magnificent record to have. I think 37 games would have been terrific. So that's gone. So maybe that played on the mind. Maybe they got a bit complacent, especially scoring an early goal as well. They probably thought, okay, this is just going to be a warm-up match kind of. But they got a big shock. And it's not as if Saudi Arabia pummeled them with chances, Argentina's goal. But the two goals they scored were really good. I thought on the first one, Romero really poor again. He looked really slow coming back from injury. Probably might not start the next match now. But the second goal as well, the guy controls the ball in the air and then I think he cut inside, maybe beating two men and then fires it in the top far corner. Keeper got a hand to it, but there's not much he could do to it. But just letting the guy have that much space and time to do that, it was just, I don't know, they were just off the off the pace, and I haven't seen them play that poorly for a long time. So there could be a big problem for Argentina there unless they sort themselves out real quick. It'll be interesting to see how they bounce back psychologically as well, being undefeated for so long. It's gonna be a test now for them, the way they have to switch back on, because like I said, they might have been complacent, but now they can't afford that complacency anymore. And moving on to the next match, which was Denmark versus Tunisia. I didn't really watch too much of that one, but just something I remembered again, the Argentina versus Saudi Arabia match. The crowd was absolutely brilliant as well. So I don't know if there was equal amount of fans or Saudi Arabia outnumbered Argentina, but that might have helped Saudi Arabia as well. But then that felt like a proper World Cup match, the atmosphere. I think that's the first match where it's felt like fantastic atmosphere. So fair play to both sets of fans for providing us with that as well. Yeah, Denmark versus Tunisia, I didn't really watch that match too heavily. I was just floating in and out, 0-0 draw. Mexico versus Poland ended 0-0, which is probably a good result for Argentina. If anything came of this day, it's probably that's the best for them. Lewandowski missed a penalty as well. First half, especially, Mexico were on the front foot. It looked like they were the only team that wanted to win it, and in my mind, I was thinking, are Poland playing a bit of a long game here? Maybe they think if they get a draw against Mexico, they think they can beat Saudi Arabia, and then in the last match, they'll go for it against Argentina. So they could have got away with it if Lewandowski had scored that penalty, but I don't know. It was hit it quite well, but it wasn't in the corner, and the goalkeeper saved it. So Lewandowski's had a pretty, well, not pretty good, he had a pretty excellent record actually from penalties. But since he's come to Barcelona, he's missed one for Barcelona, now he's missed one for Poland. So since being a Barcelona player, he's 0 out of 2 for penalties. Now that means on Saturday, 7 p.m. UK time, we're going to have a Mexican standoff between Argentina and Mexico. Argentina, I don't know if it's a good thing, whether they know Mexico or Mexico know Argentina, but two teams know each other quite well from South America. So it's going to be well, both teams need to win, especially Argentina. So it's going to be, I think we're going to get some fireworks on Saturday. And the other match, evening match, 7 p.m. kickoff, was France versus Australia, and France ran out 4-1 winners there. Again, just something I just remembered about the Mexico match as well. Atmosphere again, similar to the Argentina-Saudi Arabia match, but maybe not as much. But especially when Lewandowski missed that penalty, it was deafening in the stadium. So another match that felt, the atmosphere felt like a World Cup match. So well done to them fans as well. And yeah, France 4, Australia 1. Giroud with 2 goals. And Mbappe looks like he's gonna try to put his claim down for the best player of the tournament, maybe best player in the world. Very good display from him. Australia with the early goal, thought maybe another upset, but France, just too much quality, and I think just especially like Mbappe, just even the one-on-ones, especially against the fullback, just a class above really. And I think Giroud has equaled Thierry Henry's record for France, or beaten it by one. So I think it's 51 goals he scored now, Giroud. So I'm not sure if he's beaten it or equaled it, but 2 goals for Giroud, and France looking very good as well. So yeah, 4 games. Was it the first day with 4 games? I think today. So packed schedule, and one of the biggest shocks in World Cup history, really. And just gonna have a look to see what we got tomorrow. On Wednesday, we have an early kickoff: Morocco versus Croatia. 1 p.m. Germany versus Japan. 4 p.m. Spain versus Costa Rica. And 7 p.m. Belgium versus Canada. So another packed schedule. And tomorrow, I think we're gonna do a podcast on Ronaldo. I was supposed to do a podcast about his interview, but that got pushed back a bit, and now the news that he's left has broken. So I'll cover that tomorrow, and probably in the same podcast, might as well just do the Glazers as well, and then podcast about tomorrow's matches. So yeah, hope everybody's enjoying the World Cup. It's getting a bit more like a World Cup, and like I said yesterday, let's see what drama unfolds in the world of football and the World Cup tomorrow. So have a good evening, and we shall see you tomorrow.